Over the past several weeks, I've conducted some research. This research was not done in a lab or through surveys. It was in the form of man-on-the-street style interviews of people I encountered during my travels. The research was one simple question. What comes to your mind when you hear the words farmer, farm, and farming? I ask each of you to consider that same question. What comes to your minds when you hear the words farmer, farm, and farming? The responses I received were varied. The most alarming responses, however, were in the majority. Examples included, farmers are greedy. They don't care about the environment. Farmer isn't as smart as others, which is why they farm instead of pursuing other professions. And a final example, today's farms are factory farms. Just another example of big business. I believe we can change these perceptions of who the modern farmer is and what farming is all about. What the farmer is, how they are important to our society, and what we must do to support them is not only a matter of education, but a matter of national security. Think about this. There are 329 million people who reside in this country. Every single one of those 329 million people rely on food and fiber daily. It's daunting to think that the number of people who provide for the food and fiber for our population is approximately the same population size as the city of Chicago, 3 million people. That's right, 99% of our population is provided for by 1% of our population. 1%? How is that even possible? 3 million people provide for everyone else, plus themselves. These are our great farmers. These men, women, and families are integral to both our national security and our economic stability. They provide food security, a means to a reliable, safe, affordable, and abundant source of food to feed our population. And as if that's not enough, now add to it the anticipated global population growth. By 2050, our farmers will have to produce 70% more food and fiber in an effort to continue to be able to feed and clothe all of us. How are we going to produce more when we read daily about farms closing, land being sold for development because the farmer couldn't make it? Producing more has to happen, and it is happening. It is happening through education, skill building, technology, and support. To sustain and grow our American farmer, we first must understand what a farmer is and what a farmer is not. Contrary to one of my man-on-the-street responses, a farmer is not someone who does not care about their environment or the land which they tend. Rather, farmers have been and continue to be our first conservationists. They are motivated to protect and care and nurture the land and its resources to ensure it's the healthiest it can be for the next season and for the next generation who will farm the same land. Farmers have carried this country through the generations, and today's modern farmer provides a quilt of security and prosperity for us all. While we all have our opinions on multitasking and whether it works or not, a farmer takes it to an entirely new level in multi-professions over the course of their day, every day. I invite you to step into the boots of a modern farmer and count the total number of professions they embody over the course of one day. It's 4 a.m. and Julie's getting ready for her day. After a cup of hot coffee, she pulls on her coat and heads to the barn to feed the animals and to check on the foal that was born at 2 a.m. Profession number 1, veterinarian. By 7:30, she's back at her home, showering and getting ready for a meeting at the Ag Department to discuss disaster relief and crop protection. Professions 2 and 3, economic advisor and advocate. By 12:30, she's on the tractor seeding her fields. Profession 4, horticulturalist. At 4 p.m., she's repairing a broken water line in her irrigation system. Profession 5, plumber. At 8, after a quick dinner with her family, profession 6, mom and chef, she sits down to do some book work. Profession 7. Over the course of this one single day, Julie has had to put on 7 different professional hats in order to perform her primary profession, profession number 8, farmer. Not only to provide food and shelter for her family, but to ultimately provide security for us all. In July of 1896, on the floor of the Democratic National Convention, William Jennings Bryan stated, "The great cities rest upon the broad and fertile prairies. Burn down your cities, but leave our farms, and your cities will spring up again, as if by magic. But destroy our farms, and grass will grow in the streets of every city in the country." That statement made almost 125 years ago still rings true today. Farms and farmers are the mainstay to our nation's economy. If we lose our farms, we lose it all. Our security, our stability, our country. Now, how in the world did a girl who grew up in Cary, North Carolina, come to have such a passion for today's modern farmer? No, I am not a farmer. Not a farmer of the earth, anyway. But I do consider myself a farmer of sorts, a farmer of ideas, innovation, energy, and passion. I have become a farmer who grows education. Through my years of work at the International Innovation Management Research Center, I've had the opportunity to work on a number of incredible projects involving the agriculture industry. However, I always seemed to feel that there was something missing with these projects, and I ultimately determined that the missing link was a connection to the original source. The grower, the producer, the farmer. So my question then became, how do we connect the work we're doing to the farmer? Well, as they say, when you put something out to the universe, it'll deliver. And oh boy, it delivered. It came in the form of a call from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences with a request to help build a first of its kind, highly collaborative and interactive executive education program geared for the family-owned farming operations across the Southeast. The program evolved into an executive mini MBA with a heavy emphasis on entrepreneurship, innovation, and large family businesses, customized for those who make their living as an agriculturalist and delivered at a military boot camp pace. The program is taught by faculty representing 6 leading academic institutions, and the participant reach continues to grow across the Southeast. It's our goal to expand the program well beyond the Southeast, to provide the skills and tools needed to the modern American farmer across the country, to ensure that they have the support they need to provide the food and fiber we need. The curriculum topics are in direct contrast of a farmer not being smart. Topics include market research, succession planning, risk management, branding communication, crisis management, and crisis management communication. And the list goes on. All topics needed to successfully run the business of farming. A hallmark of the program is a case study written to mimic a real-life farming operation. Participants take all the topics from the curriculum and apply to the case study. They work through problems and solutions, innovation and experiments, personnel, agricultural, and business issues, all with the ability to have a playbook to take back to their own operations, providing them tangible tools which they may apply. I am constantly in awe of our participants at just how fast and effective they utilize the tools they learn from our program and implement them into their own operations. Joe Reynolds, a grower from Decatur, Georgia, came to our program as a participant with only 5 acres of organic vegetables. Through the completion of this program, he has now charted a plan to expand his operation to almost 200 acres in the next 18 months. The tools and skills that he has learned and gained in this program will enable him to be successful, not only in pursuing his American dream, but in increasing his food source production to help feed our growing population. Joe's operation is smaller in scale. The average participant's operation is about 3,000 acres, or the equivalent of a little over 2,200 football fields. Brandon Batten has shared that once completing the program, he had the confidence to create an entirely new entity. In addition to maintaining his farming operation, he now offers an agricultural drone service, providing other farming operations the field analysis to help maximize their crop yields. Brandon continues to apply the tools he learned in our program to further expand his operations offerings, as well as enhance his management practices. And he stated that once you learn the process of what the program teaches, you cannot not follow it. It works. The work which we are doing through the modern education, through the work which we are doing through the education of the modern farmer is making a difference when they have the tools they need to ensure that they can operate in a profitable manner and thrive. Justin Corbett of Lake Park, Georgia, has shared that through his experience in this program, he has been able to think outside of the box and to let go of the standard commodity practices, which ultimately limit the number of customers, and instead focus on value-add offerings to benefit many customers. The shift has enabled he and his family to become price makers instead of price takers. The work which I am doing in this program with my colleagues is so exciting and energizes me every single day, particularly as I see and hear firsthand just the impact we are making and how we're empowering our participants. Have you ever considered what our existence would look like if we did not have the ability to safely obtain food and fiber in an abundant source? Countries such as Afghanistan, Haiti, and Zambia all face this challenge every day. They appear on the Global Hunger Index and do not have the ability to feed and clothe their own people. By having the ability to feed and clothe our population, our farmers are protecting our country, and therefore Our farmers serve on the front line to our national security. They truly are heroes. North Carolina's Commissioner of Agriculture, Mr. Steve Troxler, has stated, "A well-fed man has the ability to solve many problems, but a hungry man has only one." When you stop and think about that statement, it is abundantly clear what the impact of lack of food security means for any given state or nation. When the modern farmer has the tools they need to operate in a sustainable manner with profit, we all benefit and reap the rewards. When 99% of our population has the ability to pursue their own areas of discovery, exploration, and innovation, while the 1% has the education and support they need to provide the food and fiber we all need, what can be achieved is magnificent. The work which we are doing in the Executive Farm Management Program is changing the lives of our farmers and thus our nation. The importance of food for a society's success is not a new idea. 19th century American statesman Bernard Baruch stated, "Agriculture is our greatest and fundamentally our most important of industries. We all flourish or decline with the farmer." Now I ask again, what comes to your minds when you hear the words farmer, farm, and farming? Thank you.